drive. And the word out here is let the streets be with you. Let me tell you what I'm going to talk about today. I should have put this phone on do not disturb. I always do this, but let me tell you this, man. I want to empower some people with something. There are folks in the world who have what they consider to be power. They have buttons that they can push and places can blow up. They have laws that they can pass and things can come tumbling down. Wow, this guy was coming up on me like he wanted to run me over. They think they have power. They think they have an semblance of power. There is no greater power than the power of the people. There is no greater power than the power of the people. Let me tell you something about this, man. Me, I'm a country Trini. I'm a country Trini. Came to Canada. First they took me to Quebec, freezing cold, and then I grew up out here in Scarborough. I'm a Scarborough kid. I am. Don't call me nothing else. When you see me on the street, say, hey man, there goes that man. He was a Scarborough kid. I grew up playing basketball, football, running track. I'm a Scarborough kid. And I tell you something, if you cannot return to the streets that you came from, there's a problem. There's a real problem. The streets must be with you. And when the people understand that you're simply, doesn't matter what your accolades were, no matter what stuff people put in front of your name now, but when they understand that, yo, listen, this is just a guy that came up just like us, and he comes back and he checks in, and he wants to be connected, listen, the streets, let the streets be with you. The streets will protect you. The streets will protect your family. I'm a living proof. I got a son right now he ain't doing too good. But I went out there, I spoke to a brother out here just today, man. I spoke to my brother out here today. I ain't gonna call out people's names and stuff. He knows if he sees this. And he said, man, listen, I wanna let you know, I saw your son out here. He was acting out, but I made sure nobody touched him. I made sure nobody touched him. I said, listen, I know his father. Man, I was just holding myself together. Brother was like, I remember you from out here. And I said, I know his father. Nobody touched this kid. Leave him alone. And man, because this is a son that he's been out of reach, right? I got 6 kids, 4 grandchildren. This one, he's a lot. And this brother said, no, man, I saw him out here. He was doing a lot. I can't lie to you, preacher. He's doing a lot. And I told people, just leave him alone. Don't touch him. And he said he saw him again years later. This was a scenario, and my son saw him, because when my son saw him the first time, he said, how do you know me? He goes, I know your face. He goes, that's your father's face. I know your father. When he saw him the second time, he said, my son recognized him first, pulled his glasses down, and says, OG, I want you to thank you, man. You're always protecting me out here. Because my son's been doing some stuff. I've been praying to God for that little boy. And the guy asked him again, he says, what about your father? And my boy we don't get along, so he didn't have very good things to say. And he said, listen, stop. He said, the only reason I protected you, the only reason you're still here is because of the relationship I have with your father. And, you know, I saw that brother today. He told me the story, man. I was like so touched. I was so touched because it showed me something. It showed me that even when you cannot protect your own, God will protect your own. And I told this brother that, I said, man, God used you as a shield to protect my son from the grave. And I pray that God now becomes your shield to protect you from anything that's going on with you. And I said, the second that you decide, man, you have a place in my ministry, you have a place right with me. Because that type of loyalty, man, you can't buy that, bro. Imagine. And he just remembers me from playing ball. He says, yeah, man, I know your dad. And I follow him on Instagram. I follow him on YouTube. He's a righteous man. I was like, wow. And you know, and nobody who sits around calling themselves a righteous man is a righteous man. Nobody calling themselves a righteous man is a righteous man. But when people can speak of you because of the few things that you've done and say great things about you, man, that's humbling, man. But what's more humbling to me is that the streets, let the streets be with you. I remember Jamal Bryant tried to go out to Baltimore and they ran him off the road, man. They said, get out of here, don't ever come back to these streets. We don't love you out here. I felt that, you know. But many times God has tried to move me out of Canada, out of Toronto, and he always brings me back. This ain't Drake's city, it's mine. But tell Drake, this ain't his city. This is mine. God made sure I did not move out of the city. I tried to move myself. I tried to move myself out of here so many times. But the point is, the streets got to be with you. This is the thing now, as I pivot, wait for it. This is the thing going on with this, I won't say his name, with CK. CK, no matter what you got to say about him, the streets, his Caucasian white national streets were with him because he was a man that went out there trying to preach his version of the gospel to them individuals in the streets. And he became more powerful than the orange brother sitting there in the White House. But he wasn't as protected because he got enemies in the streets too. He wasn't as protected. He had a lot to say, but he wasn't protecting himself. And this is the thing that we as a people, I have very great confidence in the fact that no matter who tries to come against us, the streets stand up and say, hey, you can't talk about my people like that. You can't come against my folks like that. And as he was quieted prematurely, a young man, the age of my sons, I said before, this is what I said on my social media. I said that the unfortunate thing about the quieting of CK, I ain't gonna say his name because I don't want the algorithm to even pick it up, is that a million men just like him are going to take his place. And I'm gonna say this dude's name, Fuentes. Nick Fuentes. I think Fuentes is 100 times more volatile, worse, and dangerous than CK. I won't say CK's name because they're trying to say that he's equivalent to Martin Luther King. They're trying to name stadiums and parks and stuff. I'm not gonna proliferate the name of a man who could not care less whether me, my children or not lived or died. An individual who stood on the platform saying that because of the color of my skin, that I am predisposed to violence, that I am enemy number one, that I don't take care of my children, that 75% of us leave their wives, and all kinds of other stupid, racist statistics that have no basis in truth. That's why he was dangerous. He was a subtle pseudo-intellect, preaching a gospel of hate dressed up like righteousness. But Nick Fuentes ain't even on that. Nick Fuentes is straight up breathing fire at the black community. Breathing fire. And he's just doing it out of the platform that he's building himself. CK had an $80 million platform that he built. TPUSA, I won't even say that name, TPUSA, as an $80 million organization that 31-year-old little boy had. $80 million a year they made. $80 million a year. And you have black sports stars volunteering to pay for his funeral arrangements when he's making $80 million a year, basically negatively preaching about us. Nick Fuentes is all street though. If there ever was an individual to be concerned with, it's Nick Fuentes. He ain't never going to be the president. I say that hopefully. He ain't never going to be elected to a public office. But his platform, and Nick is 25 years old. CK was 31. Nick's 25 years old. And they call this man articulate. They call him powerful. They call him influential. Because Nick Fuentes has the streets talking. And if the street don't know your name, ain't nobody know your name. I didn't know who CK was until he did. I don't know about you. I didn't know who he was. Our community didn't know who he was until he died. We didn't know who he was. But now, people have picked up the torch to carry, to burn in effigy for CK. And you could have gotten mixed up with CK. You could have said, well, he sounds like a Christian. He sounds like a righteous man. Look at the good thing he said over here. Yeah, sometimes he looked like a lamb, but most of the times he spoke like a dragon. But you're not going to get mixed up with Fuentes. You won't get mixed up with Fuentes. You know exactly where that guy's coming from. Straight from the gutter he's coming from. And he doesn't spare fools. He's coming for us. Go take a look. That's the guy you need to know his name. That's the guy you need to know his name, because he's not camouflaged under Christian white nationalism. He's not carrying water for that. The one redeeming quality of him, he's an equal opportunist hater. He hates Donald as much as he hates Democrats, as much as he hates blacks, as much as he hates black women, as much as he hates everyone else. He calls them tokens. He doesn't like the tokens. He doesn't like race mixing. A lot of things going on out there in the streets. And what's going to happen as these pundits, these speaking heads, begin to empower a dangerous mentality of the majority, what happens? What's been happening? You're seeing lynchings happening. So you look good, sir. Leave, sir. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the compliment. You see lynchings happening out in the South in America, because you have now engaged an audience of dangerous individuals who before were sleeping, but now have been empowered to say, let's go out here and do what we did in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. Let's go out and do what we did in Jim Crow. Let's go do what we did post-slavery, pre-civil rights. Let's do what we did before. And there is a return to the so-called glory years of what America is. If the MAGA acronym has ever made sense to them, it's now. Make America Great Again is an America that operated with impunity when it came to dealing with marginalized or racialized people. You could do anything you wanted to them and nothing would ever happen to you. And that is a scary proposition that's taking place right now. And people like Nick Fuentes, they are the ones who are leading the charge. He's not a cheerleader. He's in the fight. He's carrying his own Molotov cocktail and throwing it everywhere where he wants to burn things up. And he's just an agitator. That's the worst part about him. He doesn't even have a specific agenda. He's just an agitator. You know, at least you could say CK attempted to have some kind of agenda. Fuentes he's out here firing in every direction. In every direction. And it's empowering dangerous people. Let me explain how. You have a president now who has gotten to the point where he says he's going to sue media sources. He's going to destabilize and tear away networks. He's going to make sure that no one can speak against him. He is also suing and looking to utilize the power of his office to criminalize people all sitting in other areas of government, arrest members of the Attorney General who prosecuted him. He feels persecuted, but what he was prosecuted. He's using his power now to go after those attorney generals in New York and other places to put those people in jail, to utilize investigations on their lives. Man, he's firing people who won't lay charges for things that he wants. He has the full support of the American military. He can go in there and kill anybody he wants. So he's a very dangerous cat. And guys like Fuentes, their vitriol, it's not going down only to the base elements of America. It's going to ears sitting in Oval Offices. And when you make politics based on social media rhetoric, wow, you become a very knee-jerk, turbulent, unpredictable, dangerous individual, especially when you sit with that type of power. The worst part about it is that nobody on my side of the street is surprised. But what my side of the street has to realize is we outnumber the other side of the street. We outnumber them. We are the street. And I'm not afraid to be part of it. I'm not afraid to say I belong to the streets. I'm not afraid to say that, man. I'm not. Because I'd rather be with individuals who are ready to defend me, to defend my family, to stand in the way of harm, than to be with individuals who are simply, they're singing your good graces from the sidelines. Listen, one thing that folks have to realize about me is that the church, for me, has to be an activism organization. It cannot be simply individuals who sit in sealed houses and pray and go home. It has to be an activism organization. And an activism organization is what evangelism really is. It is going out and evangelizing. It is spreading something. It is actively going into the community and speaking to it, caring for it, feeding it, protecting it, representing it. It's a voice for the voiceless. It's all of these things. And many times in my position, I never see anybody do that for me. This is why today it was so impactful to see that brother tell me, hey man, I've been looking out for your son out here. I'm out here. I seen him out here, and I'm going to make sure nothing happens to him because he's got to come to his senses. And I'm like, wow, thank you, God, because I can't reach him. I'm not in the place where I can reach him. You know, you get to a certain age and you surround yourself with the wrong kind of people, the wrong kind of situation. And I just prayed today. I went to see my bishop friend, and I said, my prayer today, he's the oldest bishop in Pentecost, 98 years old. I said, my prayer today, God, is that you use my son to bring all those individuals that he's connected to out of their lifestyle and into your kingdom. That's my goal. His name means God has helped me. That's his name. His name, he literally means that. God has helped me. 3 times. I named him that 3 times. 3 different names that mean the same thing. God has helped me. God has helped me. God has helped me. I won't say his actual name, but that's what his name means. Looks just like his dad, but he's got a mean spirit, and I hope it's changed. So when you have the streets on your side, you have protection, man. You have protection, and that's what I'm hoping for the Americans that are dealing with the most incredible regime I think that has taken place in America for probably since what do I want to say? Since the head of the FBI who was dealing with King, that's the name I'm slipping off the top of my head. But that's probably the last extremely dangerous regime that was in place. And Trump Trump's regime is probably the most dangerous regime that has been. It's definitely the most dangerous regime that has been in my lifetime, and it is a regime. It is not just a political system. It's a regime. It is as much a regime as militant Islam. It's a regime of individuals, both elected and unelected. It is a regime of populace and public opinion and mentalities and militia groups and special interests. It's a regime of individuals who have malevolent societies and organizations and people with billions of dollars, all the way up to the Elon Musks of the world. You saw what they did to Kohlberg. You saw what they did to Kimmel. You saw what Musk did to 2,000 employees. This is a regime, my friend. This is not just sitting in government. This is powerful people with the same ideas. And if you speak against their ideas, you will be silenced. You will be economically cut off, or worse. So it's a regime. And you need to learn how to deal with a regime, because a regime is not just an elected government. These people elect, the regime elects its government. Hamas is an elected government because a regime wants Hamas to be in power in Palestine. So you're not just dealing with Donald, you're dealing with everything and everyone that secretly supports him. And if you don't take notice of those who secretly support CK, and not so secret anymore, not so secret anymore, if you don't take notice, you're a fool. In the black community, I want us to take notice of those people who are either too stupid to know or intentionally have joined a regime that is intent on continual marginalization and potentially even the genocide of black people in America. I don't understand why they can't see it. I don't understand why it doesn't register for them, but it doesn't. And if you don't take notice of those types of individuals, listen to them at the water coolers, listen to them in the barber chairs, listen to them on their social media platforms, listen to them. Know who you're dealing with. Know that those people will never be for you. I don't know if you're one of those people who doesn't care about that, but I need to know. I need to know individuals who are in my immediate circle who are never going to be on my side. I want to know. I want to know. I really want to know. I'm going to check you out. I'm going to check you out. Because we're going to have opportunities to put people like that in vulnerable positions in our life, and we have to be careful. You can't put people like that in your life. Don't you see what the regime is doing? They put unqualified people in sensitive areas because they said, I don't want the people who are qualified. I want the people I can control. Don't you see that he's dismissing most of the civil servants, all the people that know how to run things? Shoot, this guy is getting rid of people who are air traffic controllers. Then they talk about DEI is using people who aren't qualified. Trump has had the most unqualified people in the most sensitive areas in the history, I think, of modern America. It's insanity, bro. So I'm just here sitting back saying, hey, you folks on the ground, you better be ready, man. You better be ready in America. You really better be ready. You better be prepared and ready, right? Because when the insurrection takes place and they say, you know what, it's time to shut all of this down, it's time to take back control, when the autocracy of America takes place, you better hope that you have prepared yourself. And I really mean prepare yourself, right? You got to prepare yourself. You can't just be walking around here no more in the States of America, United States of America, and think that you don't have to be prepared. You got to be able to fight, able to defend yourself, able to return fire. You got to be prepared. Honestly, you need to be prepared. You need to not let certain legislation happen without saying, no, I'm going to follow suit against that. We need to have a group of us put some lawyers together. We need to call, the OCJ. We need to do something. We need to do something, because I don't think that you're going to be sitting in the democracy that you think you have for very much longer. And you're going to see it when it comes to the end of Trump's 4 years. Something's going to happen. And America wants Russia. They want that type of government. They want Trump to become Putin. They want Trump to become Justin Trudeau. How long was Justin Trudeau the prime minister? Right? He was a prime minister for longer than 4 years. They don't want term limits. Term limits in America are about to be gone. Watch. Watch and see. They want to get rid of that stuff. They don't want term limits because it's just going to go right back to what it was before. They're going to say, well, no, we don't need term limits. We need to be able to keep this person in power for as long as possible. Why have term limits? And then it will start for you. Once they get that moved, America's going to change. America's going to become the Gestapo. And then you're going to see. Anyway, this is Del K. Brereton, and I'm just here letting you know. Let the streets be with you, baby. Let the streets be with you. We'll talk very soon. Our convocation is coming up, and I look forward to anyone in the Toronto area, in the local area of Ontario, who wants to come down to our biannual convocation. It's happening next week, Friday. My birthday's Thursday, so if you want to give me a birthday gift, come to the convocation. That's my gift. Just show up, pop up on me. All right, and enjoy the Synod of Bishops, the College of Bishops that's coming. We have a fantastic program we put together. It's going to be life-changing. We're walking in the footsteps of giants, and I believe God will meet us there. Meet me there too. Bless you, and we'll be in touch very, very soon. Bye-bye.